How you guys doing? I'm your favorite reanimated corpse, N. Sullivan, and today I want to talk about being lost. Everybody gets lost every now and then. It just happens. I get lost in my own town. I get lost pretty much every time I go to the mall. Get lost in my house on a fairly regular basis. I even got lost in a shower curtain once. But that's not the kind of lost I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, oh, I don't know what street to turn down kind of lost. I'm talking like Christopher Columbus level epic lost. So today we're doing 3 what ifs about being lost. What if you woke up in the desert? You don't know why you're in the desert. You don't know how you got to the desert. You don't even know what desert you're in. You just know you're in the desert. You're not in desert appropriate clothing. As far as you know, when you went to bed, you were nowhere near a desert. But now here you are, in the desert. Did you get on the wrong side of mobsters in Vegas again? I mean, happens to all of us. But really, more than once? Are you in some kind of weird German expressionist version of heaven? Or possibly a German expressionist version of hell? Did you get drunk and wander out there? Is this some kind of weird prank that your friends are playing on you? How are you going to get out? There's the question. No signs of human habitation, no roads to follow, no power lines, maybe even no hills on the horizon. I don't know, it's your desert. You tell me what it looks like. But you're stuck. You're lost in the truest sense of the word. North, south, east, and west, doesn't matter. There's nothing to show you which way to go. So what do you do? And how'd you get there? And how are you getting out? Do you look for clues? Do you try to find water? Do you dig a hole and climb in it? Really, all of these are equally good options considering you're in the desert. Is it a hot desert? I mean, technically the Arctic is a desert, or the Antarctic, one of the two. But those are cold deserts. Wouldn't want to get stuck in one of those. Well, wouldn't want to get stuck in any desert. I'm a cold weather kind of guy myself. But what if you're stuck in the desert? What if you wake up one day and you're just in the desert with no reason, no way of knowing how you got there until you get back? And how are you going to get back? I think there's at least a short story in that. Tell me about your desert. Congratulations! You won an all-expenses paid trip to Paris, France. Never been to Paris. I've never been to Paris. Seems like it would be an interesting place to visit. But you don't end up in Paris. You end up in Krakow, Poland. You don't notice immediately, you just notice people are speaking a different language. In this scenario, you're not very bright and you can't tell the difference between Polish and French, but just go with me on this. You end up taking a cab ride into the city. The cab drops you off and leaves, leaving you in a city where you can't read the road signs. You don't speak the language. You don't have a map. And you're lost in a foreign city. What do you do? Now, for the most part, most places in the world at least have a few people who would speak your language, whatever it might be. And smartphones have made this a lot easier. But what if your phone's dead? It was a long trip. Your battery could have died. You could be in a part of the city where maybe people didn't learn English in school. Or maybe you're not in Krakow, Poland. Maybe you're somewhere where they refuse to speak English, like Paris, France. But the point is, what if you were lost in a foreign city where you don't speak the language and no one speaks your language, and you don't know the customs or the culture? You could end up on the wrong side of people very quickly in that scenario, and that probably wouldn't turn out very well for you, since you don't even know what alleys to run down to get away from bad guys. What do you do? Well, first thing I'd do is make for the U.S. Embassy. But how do you find the U.S. Embassy? How do you find anything? Food is easy to find, you can smell it. But how are you going to pay for it? You don't know what anything costs, and you may not have local currency on you. In fact, you probably don't. So, you've ended up on the wrong side of the mob again. Just like that time you ended up in the desert. Except this time, they're a foreign mob, and they don't speak English, and you don't speak the local language, and you're pretty much screwed. What do you do? What do you do if you're lost in a foreign city and there are bad guys looking for you? I hear Europe has a wonderful history of people hiding in the sewers. That could always be an option. You might find a local cohort, like in The Bourne Identity, somebody to help you navigate the city as you try to escape to safety. You may curl up in a ball and die. I don't know, maybe you have amnesia. Maybe you're actually a local, but just don't remember it. Anything's possible. You're the one who got the free trip to France and ended up in Poland. So pretty much literally anything is possible. You escaped the foreign city where you don't speak the language, and you've gotten away from the mob twice now. Unfortunately, during your last escape, you took a nasty bump on the head. And now you're in every writer's favorite way to get rid of the hero for Act 2, a coma. But you're in luck, because scientists have an experimental procedure that will allow you to be conscious within your own coma, and to maybe, just maybe, find your own way out. So here we are. What if you were lost in your own mind? Now, what would it look like? I mean, that's the first question. What would it look like? I mean, for me personally, I'm pretty sure that my mind looks roughly like a Hieronymus Bosch painting if the viewer and Hieronymus Bosch were both on acid. Also, mine would have a constant stream of commercial airliners flying overhead, because that is actually a pretty much constant thing in my life. So mine would be a little odd. What would yours look like? Could be lovely fields of lilies of the valley. Could be worse than mine. But the point is, you're trapped there, and you have to find your way out. Could your memories help you get out? I mean, having a sidekick would help. Could you remember anyone well enough that they could aid you as a memory in your own escape from your mind, getting back into consciousness? I like to think there's a few people I could remember that well. But, you know, who knows? Memory is a strange thing. But I think it would be kind of like Tron. But the first Tron. Because it would be good. Not Tron Legacy. No. Not Tron No. But, anyway. How would you escape? Everyone's mind would be a maze. We've got lifetimes of information in there, most of which we don't consciously remember. So, how would you travel through it? You're basically lucid dreaming in your own subconscious. How do you even make sense of that? Would you have to call an ambulance? Don't think an ambulance would help you, although that would probably be in the soundtrack for mine too, because it's another thing I constantly hear. Might be something wrong with me. You guys can hear that, right? That's not just in my head. Like, there's actually an ambulance going by, right? Anyway, back to the point. So you're stuck in this Tron version of your own brain, and you have to get out. Because if you don't get out in time, well, you're going to be stuck there forever in a coma, in a world that you can barely control. Now, will it be anything like Inception? Will you be able to dream up what you need to help you? Personally, I'd go with a bow and arrow and a flaming lightsaber. That's my style. Yeah, that would be me. Possibly a revolver too, come to think of it, but not the kind you have to reload like a movie revolver that just has unlimited bullets. Yeah, that's me. That's me all over right there. But what do? I mean, how do you escape from your own mind? What if somebody from the outside could help you? Like in Quantum Leap, there was the character that was a hologram who could give him information. What if you had one of those? And what if they had a countdown clock telling you you gotta go? I mean, you could do anything with it. It's your imagination, literally. It's a what if in your imagination. So that's it right there. What if you were trapped in your own unconscious mind and you had to escape? There are so many different ways that could go, and all of them sound so awesome. I'm thinking about writing that story tonight. So I want to hear what yours is going to be. First of all, I want to hear how you got out of the desert. And I want to know why the mob was after you in that case to begin with. I mean, I know why they were after you in Poland. Clearly, you're an American clod and you have no understanding of local customs. I mean, that's not my fault. But I didn't put you in that situation. Even though I totally put you in that situation, it's totally your fault. But is the mob going to be in your brain? I mean, you've had a lot of dealings with them by this point, clearly. Are they going to be chasing you? Are there going to be enemies there? That's a good one. Who are the enemies in your own mind? Are they your fears? That could be fun. What if your fears became personified in some way in this mind realm? What if your mind palace was full of monsters? That could be a lot of fun. Anyway, there's your third what if. What if you were trapped in your own brain? All right, guys, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check out my books in the description below. Check out my other videos on the ANCAP or wherever you happen to see them. And until next time, try and keep the monsters out of your mind palace. And I'll talk to you later.